Okay, it's 4:30 a.m. First light is right on now. We've got sunrise at 5 a.m, high tide at 5 a.m. Those two conditions coincide really well and have produced peak periods for me in the past. What is not as planned is the amount of wind. It's supposed to be about 3 to 5 according to Willy Weather. Yep, thanks for that, Willy Weather. More like 10 at the moment. I'm hoping that that's just a bit of a anomaly and things settle down, but at this stage I might have to put the surface lures away and get out the divers if this sort of condition continues. The other thing that's unexpected is the amount of weed that has been washed up on shore here. Hopefully it's not too dark and you can actually see it here. But yeah, there's quite a thick mat of weed that's been washed up against shore with the high tide. And I'm not sure what the water quality is like out there as to if this is mirrored out there. I suppose we'll only find out as the sun comes out and my lures starts coming back either covered in weed or hopefully attached to a fish. Let's see. Weed. No, I don't want weed. So, plan B. I have a feeling I'm going to run through quite a few of the alphabet plans today. We've got more of a stick bait type of surface lure. One designed that's more of a skimming type lure with a straight retrieve. Hoping that both the lack of trebles and also the darker colour might be of assistance, but I don't feel confident with the conditions that we currently have. We'll see. So there's a couple of things that might curtail my activities this morning. First is this soup-like consistency that you can see here with all of this weed. Second is the amount of wind that I'm casting into, which is definitely not ideal for fishing light tackle from the shore. And third is those dirty big clouds up there that look as though they're in the process of building up a whole heap of trouble for me. So this could be short and, well, maybe not so sweet. Okay, plan C, shallow medium diver. I know it's going to get covered in weed as it gets close to me, so it's going to be very frustrating. I'm going to have to clear it every cast, but I was getting that with the surface lures most of the time. I can only hope that a fish jumps on between it hitting the water and getting within about 5 meters of the bank, because other than that it's going to end up with weed all over it. So it's got a little bit more weight. We'll see if I can get it out there, and maybe they're subsurface. Well, so there we go. So there are fish out there. It's just a matter of getting to them. It's taken a shallow diver, rolled, over a bit of rocky rubble. I imagine that it's a brim, but it could be a flathead. They're the two most likely candidates. It's a decent fish. I'm being careful not to rush it too much in amongst all of this weed and structure that's down here. There we go. Little brim. In amongst all of the sound of the guys that are here to clean the beach. I have come to clean the beach. And there we go, he's in the net. So there you go. A little bit of patience. Subsurface has done the job. In amongst all of the weed, the fish are out there. And they're hungry. There we go, the guys at Moreton Bay Council clearing up. So I'd classify that as a fairly solid brim. Good condition, nice and thick, no damage, and he was certainly hungry. He jumped all over that lure as soon as I got it in the right place. Worked it a bit, few movements of the rod tip to get him interested, and he jumped on. 26 centimeters to the fork, to the tip. 29.5, so yeah, that's a good little start, and it certainly gives me some confidence to keep casting. See you, mate. You see how dirty that water is? So it's the vibration, the sound that's going to be drawing the fish in, not a lot to do with the colour of the lure. And hopefully it's a sign that I've got a bit of a pattern that I can work to. One fish, however, does not make a pattern. So just checking my lure and my leader after that fish. The leader's fine, but you might notice that even that just a decent brim, he's managed to open up one of those trebles there. So I'm just going to need to a little bit of plier work, bend it back into shape. There we go. See if we can't catch ourselves another one. So you may have seen in a fairly recent video that I made of bass fishing that I caught a nice little creek bass on this Pontoon 21 crackerjack. I've also caught flatty on it and cod, and now brim casting from the shore, so it's fast becoming one of my favourite little hard body subsurface lures. And it certainly has done the job for me this morning with that fish, so we'll cast it around a bit more and see if I can't scare a few more onto it. Well, as already suspected, the weed is a major frustration. Every cast is coming back draped in weed. If it wasn't for the encouragement that I received by catching that decent brim a little bit earlier, I would have probably packed up shop and gone by now. And that encouragement will only last me so long and give me so much momentum to continue with the process. And so ends my quick morning session. A morning of frustration, inclement weather, one decent fish. Gotta love fishing.